Hi everybody, hope you're well. Today I'm making a dish which is really dear to my heart. It's cauliflower and potato curry, also known as aloo gobi. And one of the reasons it's dear to my heart is because it's one of the favourite dishes that my mum makes for me. So today I'm going to try and match her skills and make it as good as I can and make it taste almost as good as mum's. I have all my fresh ingredients here, chopped up and ready to go. Onions, tomatoes, grated ginger and garlic. These are standard masala ingredients, and masala I mean sauce, which is the base for most of the curries I make. The spices vary, but the fresh ingredients remain consistent. I'm going to start first of all by sautéing my onion in oil, and to this I'm going to add some cumin seeds. I have a teaspoon or so of cumin seeds which I'm about to add to the onions. What I tend to do is warm the cumin seeds through either on a griddle pan or a flat frying pan just to release some of those fragrances. Started with sautéing my onion in cumin seeds, and I want to get this to a really nice golden brown colour. So the onions are turning this lovely golden colour. About now I'm going to add my ginger and garlic. They don't need that much sautéing. And not too far behind, I'm going to add the chopped tomatoes into the onion and the ginger and garlic. Continuing to sauté the onions and the tomatoes, I'm going to do this for about 5 minutes and then start adding my ground spices too. This is ground coriander. This is the coriander seed ground down to a fine powder, and it really enriches a lot of the sauces that I make, and it's used extensively in Indian cuisine. Next, adding some ground turmeric, which is the powdered variety as opposed to the fresh one. I also use the fresh variety too, but today I'm using the ground version. I've also warmed this spice through as well for this particular dish. It just releases a different scent from the spice when you do that. Next, I'm adding some Kashmiri red chili powder. It's not as fiery and as hot as ordinary cayenne or chili powder. It does have a slight kick to it, but it's actually mostly known for its beautiful red intense colour. Just to recap quickly on the spices that I've added to this sauce, we have some turmeric, some ground coriander, some Kashmiri red chili powder and cumin seeds. Already you can start to see that beautiful red intensity that comes from the Kashmiri red chili powder. Just going to continue to saute this sauce until it's really soft. I absolutely love fresh chilies, but what I do is I don't really add them at this stage in the sauce as many people do. I leave them to the end because, once again, everybody's tolerance for chili is slightly different. When it comes to using fresh chilies in my food, I tend to err on the side of caution a little bit, only because I have 2 young children and it can actually get a little bit spicy for them. So what I tend to do is garnish the dish afterwards. So when the oil starts to separate from the sauce like so, you know it's time to add your main ingredients. I have my florets all ready. You don't want to break them up either too big or too small. I'd say kind of medium-sized florets so they cook through as well as keep a little bit of crunch so they're al dente. I found these gorgeous baby new potatoes in my local supermarket, which I won't peel today. I'm actually just going to chop them in half, give them a wash and use them in my dish as they are. I'm parboiling my potatoes today just to slightly soften them before I introduce them into the sauce with the cauliflower. And the reason is cauliflower and potato cook at different heats really, so it's just to bring them up to speed so that you've got a little bit of parity in terms of both of the vegetables being the same consistency. And now we're ready to introduce the cauliflower into the sauce. Gently mixing the cauliflower florets into this rich sauce now. I'm being very gentle, don't want to break them up. I'm going to cover it with water just so it's slightly covered over, and I'm going to leave it to simmer. You only really need to add about 1.5 cups of water just to make sure that the cauliflower is immersed in the sauce. That way it will cook and absorb all those beautiful flavours. Now the cauliflower is just soft enough for me to introduce the potatoes. If you recall, I did par-cook the potatoes too, so I'm going to stir these through really gently so that they're all coated in that lovely sauce. And now I'm going to simmer it for another 5 to 6 minutes just so that all the flavours absorb the potato and the cauliflower, and then all I need to do is garnish with some fresh coriander and chilies. And here we have the finished dish. I really hope you enjoyed cooking with me today. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel if you like to see this and more dishes being made in my kitchen.